We have another question from Canada. Tony, who's 17 from Canada, writes, and wonders, how long does it take you to produce a song from the initial conception to the final recording and editing phase?
Well,
I guess it probably varies from.
It does vary, and for me, it's really different than most artists because I'll do a couple of songs. It could be 5, 6, 7, or 8, or 10 of them, and throw them all away and start over. So that's a difficult question to ask me.
I wonder if. Is there maybe a specific song on the album, say Invincible, how long, when, do you remember like getting the first inspiration for that song and then maybe the day when you finally said, you know what, this is it, I've got it exactly the way I want it?
Song Invincible itself?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I remember having the guys go back in and create more innovative. Because we don't, this is our thing, we don't put a lot of sounds on the album that are sounds from keyboards that are, pretty much programmed into the machine.
Mm-hmm.
Go out and make our own sound.
Mm-hmm.
Hit on things, we beat on things, so nobody can duplicate what we do. We make them with our own hands. We find things and we create things, and that's the most important thing to me, to be a pioneer, be an innovator.
Absolutely. Now we have Vernay, who writes to us from Newark, Delaware, in the good old USA, and Vernay says, I'm so pleased with the new album, but I was particularly touched by Speechless. What was your inspiration for this song?
Speechless was inspired to me by, I spent a lot of time in the forest. I like to go into the forest, and I like to climb trees. My favorite thing is to climb trees.
Mm-hmm.
I go all the way up to the top of a tree, and I look down on the branches. Whenever I do that, it inspires me for music. And there are these two sweet little kids, a girl and a boy, and they're so innocent. They're the quintessential form of innocence. And just being in their presence, I felt completely speechless because I felt I was looking in the face of God whenever I saw them.
Mm-hmm.
And they inspired me to write Speechless.
Well, and that answer actually might touch on this next question which we have, which wonders, where do you look for inspiration when you write your songs? Does inspiration come from a variety of different places?
Well, the best songs that are written write themselves. You don't ask for them. They just drop into your lap. Then there are those songs that, you kind of incubate. You plant the seed, let the subconscious take its course, and within time you hope something comes, and most of the time it does. I don't believe in the concept of writer's block. That is a bad word. You create it when you say it. There's no such thing. Like any painter or sculptor, they do their best work when they're in their 60s and their 70s. Fred Astaire did his best dancing when he was in his 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Angelo sculpted late into his 60s and 70s, doing brilliant, ingenious work. But in the music business, some of these great artists have become stumped because they've self-abused themselves in their young age so early with all these crazy things they drink and pills and things, and that's just not good.
Right.
Just not a good thing. Hate to say that to hurt anybody, but we should take care of our bodies a little more.
No, I think a lot of people realize, that they've damaged themselves. Many people have talked about it in recent years,
Yeah.
We have a question from Alan here who asks if you think that Rodney Jerkins and you have created a new sound for 2001.
The song 2000 what?
He says, do you feel that you and Rodney Jerkins, of course the producer, have created a new sound for 2001?
2001?
Yes.
Oh, that would be a nice thought, yes.
What was it like working with him? How did you guys meet, and how did your collaboration go?
He was this guy who went around Hollywood and around the industry saying his dream is to work with me, to everybody. I was at Carol Barra Sager's house, who's this great songwriter, won several Academy Awards for her songwriting, and She said, there's a guy you should work with. His name is Rodney Jerkins. He's been crying to me, begging to meet you. I mean, why don't you pick up the phone and you say hi to him? And he came over that day and he said, please, my dream is to work with you. He said, just give me 2 weeks and I'll see what I can come up with. And we ended up working together.
What were your impressions of him? Like, as you know, just somebody did. What did he bring? What did you feel that his contribution was?
His contribution was he loves to create in the same kind of way that I like to create. But I push Rodney. Mm-hmm. I push and push and push and push him to create, to innovate more, to pioneer more. He's a real musician. He is a real musician, and he's very dedicated, and he's real loyal, and he has perseverance. I don't think I've seen perseverance like his than anyone, because you can push him, and he doesn't get angry. He's just a great guy. He really is.
That's a great compliment.
And Teddy Riley is just incredible. He's innovative too. I love working with him.
And you had worked with him in the past, of course.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite. As a human being, he's one of my favorite people in the world. He's just a really sweet, kind guy. And Rodney's very funny. You laugh all day when you're with him. When he turns his music up in the studio and he starts dancing around the room, it's just funny.
I'd like to remind everyone you're on Get Music. We're here talking with Michael Jackson, whose new album, Invincible, is out on October 30th. You can check it out at michaeljackson.com. You can pre-order it on Get Music. Now, we have a question from It's Jackson, who is really named Rachel from Connecticut. Wonders, do you have any new dance moves that you've invented while you were making your album?
For the first time working on any album, I put a halt to dancing because I was just so engrossed and so infatuated with what I was doing. I did something that was very unusual. But once the music started playing, of course, I started to dance. But it's starting to now create itself. And with the music playing, I'm coming up with some new things. But that's coming in the future with the newer short films. They'll be seeing all kind of new, innovative things in movement that have never been seen before. We'll go places, where we've never gone and danced before. Because all the hip-hop things that are happening now, beginning to look like aerobics, is kind of getting annoying.
We have a question from Simon, who, you've obviously mentioned, all the people who have wanted to work with you. He wonders, Michael, who would you love to do a duet with, past or present?
If it's past, it would be somebody like, I would say Sarah Vaughan or Nat King Cole. Present, fantastic. I think Whitney Houston is brilliant, and Barbra Streisand has a beautiful voice. Those kind of artists that are just wonderful.
What's your impression of some of the artists who have come on the scene just in recent years? People like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, young pop stars who are obviously hugely popular. Britney participated in your show at the Garden. What was your sense about her?
I think for the new breed that are coming up, they're doing a very good job. And what impressed me more about any of these artists, like Spears and Christina, they're so determined.
Absolutely.
I've heard about the way they work. They'll work on a dance step, for months. And to get it right, they're just so determined. And I've met Britney several times, and she was very sweet and humble. She came to my room, and we quietly talked for a couple of hours. And she was just like a Barbie doll, just very sweet, very kind.